On this special Film Rage interview session, we're joined by Eric, who is better known as Kid Koala. DJ, music producer, graphic novelist. The list is too long to even list it all. And now you can add film writer and director to the list. His film Space Cadet recently premiered at TIFF and will be screening at the Calgary International Film Festival on September 19th with an encore presentation on September 28th. Eric, thanks for being here. It is a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Sweet. All right. We have a little game we like to play with our directors that just kind of loosens things up a bit. It's kind of like calisthenics for fun. And it's called OR. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and you just have to answer one thing or another. Are you ready?
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. DJ battle or Soul Train reunion dance-off?
Soul Train reunion dance-off.
Nice. Okay. Daft Punk or Beastie Boys?
Oh, my. That's a toughie. Beastie Boys.
Okay. There's no right answers, but of course there's one.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about just my personal journey,
That's okay. Bryce and I have opinions, but, it's all about you, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Vinyl crackle or synth bass?
Vinyl crackle.
Yeah. Sorry, that is the right answer. Street Fighter or Mario Kart?
Mario Kart.
Okay. That's also, it doesn't matter. They're both awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and the final one is deep space or deep sea?
Deep sea, actually.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Are you nice and loose now?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, sir. Congrats on your recent showing at TIFF and bringing Space Cadet to Ciff. When you started this project many years ago, is the finished result what you imagined it would be?
It's so much more than I imagined it would be, actually.
Nice.
So it started, the genesis of it was a graphic novel that I had released, Space Cadet, with a companion CD that was a collection of lullabies for my then just born daughter. And we did a couple shows to promote that book launch. And unbeknownst to me, there was a lady at the Montreal show in attendance, Jeanette Petit, who's from Outsiders Films. She saw the show, saw the characters, heard the music, saw some 2D animation that my friend Lillian Chan had done for the show that we were projecting just on various screens. And she thought that, hey, this is kind of a project that she could envision as a feature film. So she actually optioned the book back in 2011.
Wow. And
it took her over 11 years to find the funding and find the partners and expand the script. She hired this lady, Mylène Cholet, genius screenwriter, to adapt my original graphic novel to a feature film. And so they went through some scripting during that first decade, but mainly she was trying to find the funding to do it. And we got greenlit about 4 years ago, and we went straight into like a full-on animated production, which is a steep learning curve for me, but at the same time, a lot of fun, Mm-hmm.
Well, you nailed it.
So the story is made more powerful because it's told with no words, but instead through music, expression, tone, and sound. Is this how you see the world yourself?
If I were to look back, I'd say my one of my fondest childhood memories of watching Charlie Chaplin films with my grandma. And she would come visit us from Asia, and she didn't actually speak any English. The only movies that she could enjoy with my sister and I and my parents were these silent films, and I just loved that energy, just hearing her laugh and hearing her sniffle during the emotional parts of these Chaplin films. And I thought, even back then, I said, when I grow up, I want to see if I can make this kind of energy happen somehow. So here we are.
Yeah, well done. Like, just wow. we typically think of robots as cold and inhuman, but your story completely turns that on its head. How the hell did you do that? Like, I was in love with this robot.
Yeah, he's kind of a plucky, likable design. I think he's a first generation Guardian bot. So when you meet him in the film, he's already pretty much served his design purpose, which was to raise this young child, Celeste, to become a space explorer. And she, at the beginning of the film, she kind of sets off on her solo mission into space, and he's kind of left at home, empty nest syndrome. So you're seeing a robot kind of at the end of the cycle, but trying to fill his days with, something new, or just bide his time until she returns. From a design perspective, I mean, he's based on a lot of favorite things. My wife's favorite food, which is a hamburger. So you see that in his design. I think, he's quite simple. He's not got too many crazy servos or other gadgets to him. I think he has that kind of brushed aluminum soap dispenser look to him that I think is, quite benign and friendly and approachable. But yeah, overall, I think at its heart, he's a caring robot, a bit of a space cadet himself too, a bit of a dreamer, maybe clumsy a little bit, but means well,
Yeah. You can feel the emotion from it. Like for an inanimate, I guess not really an inanimate object, but for wires and metal, there's so much emotion that you get to feel from him.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is there a deeper meaning to the names for Stella and Celeste? My mind kind of went as I was watching it. It took me to a space where I was like, celestial being and interstellar. So I don't know, did I nail it, or is there some deeper meaning?
Yeah, definitely went there, and definitely some of one of the instruments that I would use for a lot of the themes for Celeste themes was in fact a Celesta.
Oh, nice.
So that was just kind of swimming around as options for names when we were talking about that. Yeah.
So I can basically design my own mental well-being to think that I was right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. So that origami scene set to the music was pure storytelling genius. Where did that come from? Like, that scene alone is like almost the heart of the movie for me.
Right. I think the film, at least to me, tries to celebrate these little moments, these little interactions that I think as a child, for me at least, they weren't always these big fanfare moments like graduating from high school or winning a medal or something like that. It was always these moments where time seemed to slow a little bit, and maybe I learned something. Maybe my father or my grandmother taught me something and took the time to teach me how to, my mom actually taught me how to fold this sort of tetrahedron thing out of a piece of paper once. And when she first showed it to me, I was kind of blown away by it. How did you do that? It looks like a jewel, and all the, and then she actually took the time and slowly taught me how to put that together. Another time I remember my father teaching me how to draw a boat. I asked him to draw a boat in a restaurant, not dissimilar to that diner that they're sitting in. And, unbeknownst to me, my father was very much into warships. So he could draw this very technical, almost blueprint level drawing of a boat. And this was mind blowing to me, first of all, because I was so young, didn't know my father could draw. But on top of that, didn't know that anyone in my family could draw, or that someone I knew could have that ability. And it was this really short interaction where I was just in awe, and these doors of possibility just went really far into the future. Kind of like, well, maybe I can learn how to draw, And I asked my father about this moment. Yeah, you remember that time you taught me how to draw? took the time to teach me all the different parts of the ship, and he doesn't remember. He was tired and busy and just trying to occupy the kid who's probably getting a little restless at the restaurant or whatever. But from where I was sitting, it was this very precious kind of moment that just opened, like just cracked my brain open to possibility,
Yeah,
and changed my whole outlook on things.
Just amazing the things that'll stick out in our heads from childhood that you ask your parents about, and they're like, "I don't remember that at all." It's like, that's what formed me.
Exactly.
He's like, I don't even remember if
I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for that moment.
And he's like, I was just thinking we ate tacos, probably. Like,
right. Yeah,
I tell you. So on that note, we're watching this movie, and it's obviously that you absolutely care about these characters that you've made. Were they, I'm guessing in some way, most of them were probably inspired by people in your life, or would you say?
Yeah, I would say some of the actual setups and interactions come from these little memories that I have, fond memories that I have from my childhood, like even the hermit crab scenario on the beach. I remember just being in Vancouver on the West Coast, and my father was like stronger than me. He could flip rocks over the big, they felt like boulders to me because I was a kid, but he could flip them over. Underneath there'd be all these creepy crawlies and tiny fish and little crabs and stuff would just scurry around, and it was just this whole universe. And that alone, I can remember just being so excited and in that moment, Obviously, it wasn't like the hermit crab in the movie that was just trying on different hats or whatever. Eventually, going with other fashion statement, but something simple like that. I think a lot of the locales for what happened, I think, came from real life to a certain extent. Yeah.
Was the surrogacy of like the robot anybody in particular you had in mind though?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of an amalgamation of all the people that kind of brought me up. My grandmother's humor, my father's humor, my mom's sort of thoughtfulness and attention to detail and caring. She did everything with a lot of care and a lot of intention. And so I don't know. To me, he's a bit of a metaphor for a caretaker, guardian, parent, character. But no, I wasn't actually raised by any kind of automated machine. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So your characters always seem to hit pause for a little fun. It almost feels like it's almost a little bit of a theme of the movie. Was that a deliberate touch?
Hit pause
for a little fun, like with the origami scene, and
Yeah, I think even in the original book, the bond that Celeste and Robot have was kind of told through these flashbacks, and so we had to get into that world, with certain devices, and sometimes it's Celeste reminiscing about it, sometimes it's Robot, hard drive sort of glitching a bit and throwing him into a memory or something, but it was just about having that ability to go back in time every now and then and show you a moment that would for you as a viewer to kind of strengthen that relationship that they had, that history that they had.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
It so works. Like it's such a fun movie. Such a fun movie.
I'm glad you think that, because we've been on this film festival tour, and I think that the consistent 2-word review I'm getting from both journalists and people during the Q&A is like, I cried, but almost like, I cried a lot, or I'm still crying, or
I'm telling you,
ladies in Mexico that had full on running mascara and still trying to ask me a question during the Q&A. It was very, very sweet. I'm I'm happy that it's resonating with people, and I think a lot of it may have to do with the fact that there's no dialogue, and because of that, you have to interact with that. Well, what is that character thinking, or what are they bringing to the table? And I think people might bring their own memories, or might even be thinking about people in their own families who they care about, and this is just a bit of a reflector for them. And so, yeah, I mean, we hear the giggles and the laughter and the joke bits, but I was shocked at like the level of hush and sniffles, and then sometimes even ugly sobbing that happens in the film, which I didn't mean. I was kind of like, "Hey, didn't mean to ruin your Saturday afternoon or whatever."
Not at all.
Birthday party. But yeah, I think overall it's like a cathartic cry more than just straight up.
I'm telling you, dude, I've been told that I've got a cold heart and I am emotionless, and I had a single tear running down my face by the end of this.
Oh,
wow. And this movie really did affect me. I genuinely just loved it.
And I'm the ugly cry guy.
Yeah, and he's the ugly cry guy.
Like when we're talking ugly cry.
If he was wearing mascara, it would be all running down his face.
I don't want to make a joke about that, but there would. If my mascara was potentially a different color, but yeah, it would be all over my face. Totally. I'm happy people are letting it out.
Again, I'm not taking all the credit for that. I think the world, maybe people's lives are in a tense place, or maybe it's just.
Hey man, your movie's therapeutic. That's good.
Right, there you go. We're part of
changing
a new
the
initiative
world. So to just change directions just a little bit, we're going to go back to the movie a little bit, but I understand you have a very eclectic record collection.
I do, yeah.
Can you share just a couple of your favorite titles that, I guess you might be on the eclectic side?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have one record that comes to mind, it's quite minimalist. It's called the Nothing Album. And this is a piece of vinyl that was released, I believe, probably in the 80s or maybe late 70s. And it's got 5 tracks per side and no sound. But there's the cue bands and everything, so you're kind of dropping the needle.
So when the next song
and they just
starts.
Had a great time. On the one hand, it's like party hard. I see what you did there, but they really went all the way, Monty Python level with the titles, and with all the band names and whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, look it up. It's one of those things where, I do. Speaking of record crackle, it does have a bit of that on it, so that's what I use it for.
Using it in a loop somewhere.
Yeah.
The best.
But there's a lot of records that weren't made for human consumption that I actually own, like parakeet training records or records that you play for your plants, because there was a study saying that, if you speak to your plants, it helps them grow. And so there's somebody on vinyl who can do that for you if you're too busy. Just put the plant up to the speaker. It's questionable whether it works or whether it was actually the exchange of carbon dioxide and stuff that was helping. But yeah, here's somebody just very calmly talking to your plant on your behalf. And parakeet training records. I mean, those just drive humans or any creatures insane. It's just literally one word or one sentence just repeated over and over again until a parakeet learns it, I guess. I don't know. I've never used it for what it was designed for. I don't have a bird, but
could have been a good training session for the kids. You're going to learn how to speak today, kids, as if you're a parakeet.
Yeah.
So did your collaborations from your music career help in the teamwork that it takes to make a feature film?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this was definitely a new type of project for me, in that the animation pipeline, production pipeline they call it. I didn't know this, but you work with different departments for a few weeks, and then you never see them again. They move on to other movies, and then they literally don't come back. So you're working really kind of intently with, say, the layout team, and then the modeling, the sculpting team, and then the surfacing team, and then the animators, and then the lighting team, and normally, when you're in a band, you just kind of do it all at the same time. Hey, let's just try this whole thing a little slower, or you can say, oh, let's just push the tempo a bit and give it a little more energy. Well, there's certain decisions that you can't go back to, because literally that the people that know how to do that are on different projects now. So in a way, you do have to have this more Zen-like attitude of just being like, okay, how do we make the best, most poignant or funny scene with this team, and what is the skills and nuance that they could bring to it. And so that was really a new thing for me, this learning that, and also learning how to speak frames, because I always spoke in music. So I was like, okay, yeah, he should have a little bit of swag when he's walking down the sidewalk. Maybe, his shoulder should just hit its peak, on the 2 and the 4, and they're like, what? Like on the snare drums, you hear them, right? And it's like, huh? And it's more like, oh, no, okay, yeah, every 16 frames, like it reaches, okay, And once I learned how to
speak that language,
frames, yeah, then it became real easy. I would just translate in my head. It's like, what I mean to say is 16 frames, what I mean? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
It's in 4/4 time, just over 16 frames.
Yeah. But no, I mean, testament to everybody on there. It was a joy to direct, because I think everybody had such, they were so sensitive to the characters and the material that they were able to just breathe so much life and energy into each scene. I didn't want it to be very squash and stretchy animation. I wanted it to be kind of subdued, so the range of movement. And I mean, robot doesn't even have eyebrows or lips or anything like that. So it's like, how do you make them smile? How do you do, there were choices you would have to make with just head tilts and the antenna, you know what I mean? And so they would find ways to emote that through even fewer tools than they're used to. And they did a beautiful job. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely thumbs up. The music in this is so important to this story.
Mm-hmm.
How, as a musician, how tough was it finding the right first songs and artists to help tell the tale?
Right. So Mylène Chalet, the screenwriter, her first version of the script, I remember reading it and just bawling at the end, and it was so powerful. The way she had framed it was almost like each chapter at its heart would have one of these kind of songbook classics, like these timeless numbers, say like Fly Me to the Moon, or They Can't Take That Away From Me, or whatnot. And so the plan was always that I would do my own rendition of this. And maybe it's a piano turntable kind of thing. But then when it came time to find the vocalist, I literally just went through a short list of some of my favorite singers on the planet. And seeing as that, this film does deal with cycles of generations and isolation, and has its melancholy moments as well. I thought about voices and singers who, whose music I go to when I need that voice of comfort. And so everybody on there, we're talking Karen O from Yeah, Emiliana Torini from Iceland, Trixie Whitley from New York, Megan Smith from Halifax, Martha Wainwright from Montreal, and Mariana from Diggable Planet, Smith and Ladybug Mecca. They all have such beautiful textured voices of comfort that emote so well. So I was just stoked that they all agreed to contribute in any way to the music. Yeah.
It's so timeless. This movie's going to be one of those films 100 years from now people are going to watch and go, that's brilliant.
I hope so. I hope, even topically what it deals with, the passing of life cycles and things like that, and that hopefully it's a film that you can turn to for for comfort if you need, or you need to
absolutely
have that conversation with somebody, young in the family who's maybe dealing with it for the first time. So
yeah, just
anyway.
like the music, the theme is timeless. So that's why no matter 10 years from now, 100 years from now, it's still going to speak to people. There's no question.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm glad you guys feel that way. Thank you.
We really do.
We really do.
Right.
There's not very many movies that we really love.
We're called Film Rage, and usually we're pretty angry after we watch a movie. But.
Oh, really? What were you thinking when you made this?
Exactly. Not yours, man.
I appreciate that, though. Yeah.
So you're what's next for you? This is our last question, by the way. What's next for you?
Right. So we're continuing on this sort of film festival circuit for the next several months, and I think we're aiming for a theatrical release at some point in the first half of next year. So right now I'm also, finalizing the soundtrack for release as well, and dealing with packaging and trying to come up with
box
some
set,
way to,
baby. Box set.
Oh yeah, I don't know. At least a double album, at least. I'll see if we have a budget for box set. That would be fun too.
Nice. So can you maybe just tell our listeners ways they can see you, reach you, worship you from afar like we do here at Film Rage?
Well, kidkoala.com is my official site, and from there's all the links to all the social media channels if you should need. There's also a mailing list there that I kind of write to maybe once or twice a year with once a group of dates are confirmed. I'll sort of do a post there, and so you can stay up to date on what's happening on the live front as well as what's happening in the studio.
Nice. And I think you're going to be selling some, maybe not you personally, but there'll be some merch actually at the film showings, correct?
Oh,
I saw that on your website.
I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean? We didn't bring any to Ciff. Were we supposed to? We were out in the beat me in the parking lot. I got copies of the graphic now.
Pop the trunk.
Pop the trunk, baby.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Nice.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed it shows up. Well, Eric, thanks so much. It's been a super big pleasure for us to meet you, to see you. Hopefully we see you at the screening. We're going to be all over the place at the festival. Hopefully you're here and you enjoy Calgary.
Yeah. I'll be there on the 19th. Yeah. So nice. I'm doing a little Q&A after the screening, and excited for that.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. As a reminder, tickets are available to see Space Cadet at the Calgary International Film Festival. It's playing twice, September 19th at 8:30 at Contemporary Calgary, the Dome, September 28th at 2:45 p.m., Chinook 15. Make sure to grab your tickets at ciffcalgary.ca before they sell out. That's it for this special Film Rage interview sesh during Ciff, where you can find out everything about the festival at ciffcalgary.ca, including a place to buy your tickets. Until next time, rage on.
Rage on.